Hi there, people of Earth. Welcome to A Commentary.
A commentary.
By Zen in the Void. There's something that I've been wanting to discuss with you guys. As you can hear, it's pouring down raining in LA, so bear with me, okay? I was working on this a few weeks ago, and
Topic of random women getting punched in the face in the streets in New York.
You guys, I was literally just walking, and a man came up and punched me in the face.
Sir, I'm sorry about this.
Oh my!
Sidewalk now.
Excuse me?
Get off the sidewalk.
Please don't touch me.
Floor of the elevator car. He tries to grab her purse and then
Thrusting against her and knocking her to the ground.
I was sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
No.
as I've moved through my life in the world, I've noticed that we've had a growing problem.
You think you with me, but I'm about to lay you to rest.
Wow.
See where I'm at? I'm at the cemetery. I'm about to lay you to rest.
Wow.
So where does this story begin?
What have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this? I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men and was like, "What you gonna do?" And I told all these men, like, "Yo, why this man got a brick?" And all these niggas is watching, and nobody does nothing. And he hits me in my face, and then they all just watch, and they let that nigga get in a car. How is this okay? This is what y'all doing to women?
This is an issue that I've noticed become more widespread, not just in our own lives, in our families, in our communities, but also social media, the media in general, different industries. So let's get to it.
Repeated exposure to gun violence in the media results in the US public's emotional desensitization to this crisis. Using computerized linguistic analysis, the researchers reported a notable decrease in the amount of disgust, anger, and sadness that the public felt towards similar consecutive school shootings. This shows how the repetition of gun violence, along with negligent media coverage, results in the normalization of the murder of school children. And it's not only gun violence. According to CNN, there has been a rise in desensitization to all violent crime in our modern society, and this is partly due to the technological advancement that we have experienced over the past few decades. Now, we have 24-hour news that exposes us to assault upon assault, murder upon murder, mass shooting upon mass shooting.
First of all, I want to comment on this whole fight between male and female. Man and woman, black man. I don't know. I can't say that I don't know where this started, when this started, what, where, why, and how, because I feel like I do. I was always very keen. I was always very aware of what I was watching, what I was taking in, the things that I was seeing around me.
Matt here is going to shotgun blast Snuckles' brains all over the ground. You got it? So start calling, bitches. We're not.
Oh, you see why he cheated?
Enemy UAV overhead.
I noticed that in my favorite shows, in my favorite movies, and even in music videos and different forms of entertainment, I noticed that there was a little bit of an agenda in our favorite movies and shows and music. And it always kind of painted a picture, the stereotype or the opinion that is formed, that is upheld and recognized. The black person would always be kind of shown in a very specific light. And I always wondered, like, why is that? Even as a child, I always wondered, okay, why is that? Why is the black woman, if she's smart and she's successful, why is she always bitchy or undesirable?
Soldier?
Money is power. Then you ain't got none. Because, see, Gina makes a whole lot more money than you do anyway. Mommy will help you.
Thank you. So what are you going as, Pam? The Nutcracker?
In a class today.
I do be going to class.
Lunch is not a class, shorty. That's why you such a dumbass.
Your mother.
You my brother. That's your mother, too, jackass.
But then your father's stupid.
So, I don't know him.
Or seen as an overall nuisance, or just less desirable than other women? Why is it that if she is dark, she has to be aggressive, loud, off-putting, not classy?
Got to get out.
The Mammy.
You tell me who you want done, and I'll do the hell out of it.
The Jezebel.
Shut it up! You are such a big baby.
And the Sapphire. Submissive, sexy, sassy. 3 stereotypes of black women that return to our screens over and over again.
The Mammy is probably the most familiar to people. It's usually a maid, heavy, taking care of the family.
You is kind, you is smart, you is important.
And even for black men and men of color in movies, there's always been stereotypes. From Asian to black to African.
We live in a post-racial world. If so, it would mean there are no more stereotypes, that we don't make generalizations about a particular group and have certain expectations about every person in that group. Matter of fact correspondent Joey Chen set out to explore the creation of stereotypes with a look at films and images of the past and how they influence us today.
I used to hear the playground taunts, the Ching Chong Chinaman or Chinese Japanese dirty knees, and I wondered where kids learn this stuff, the stereotypes, the racist tropes. Well, it turns out the images that shape our biases are everywhere.
The image imprinting begins early. These images are in children's stories and books, and that they're in the animation, and that they are in our films and now our advertisements as well.
Mia Mask studies how African Americans are represented in movies, TV, and pop culture, and her words stick with me as I watch Dumbo now, decades after I first saw Jim Crow and his gang.
Did you ever see an elephant fly? Well, I seen a horse fly.
Indigenous, literally at no one's safe here. I noticed a lot of different patterns of stereotypes that would happen for black men as well. They would always be dumb, slow, overly empathetic towards white women or just non-black women in general.
What are you doing here? What do you mean? Well, I'm supposed to be the only black guy at this party. Oh. Shit. Yeah, I know. It's whack. Hey man, my bad, man. No doubt. Why don't you take this, man? Thanks. All right. Do your thing. Hey. Yeah. Peace out, brother. Hey, honest mistake. I just swear about that, right?
You hold these books here for a minute?
Sure, why not? I am the token black guy. I'm just supposed to smile, stay out of the conversation, and say things like, damn, shit, and that is whack.
Exactly. Stay.
Keep moving now as he finds his hand shoot through the walls. The dress is stuck on something. Oh, great. Uh-oh. We gotta keep going now. Let's come on.
You all right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's one of those things where I feel like it's an everybody problem. Sometimes I get into these little spats with people on social media. I know y'all like to tussle, okay? But in reality, it's not just a black problem. If I'm speaking about something as a young black woman, it's because that is my perspective. That's my life. I'm a black woman. It's a very specific type of life experience. And as a white male or a Indian woman or whomever, right? Everybody has their different struggles and how we're portrayed. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, let's not, like, it's 2024. I don't know if it's just me. I'm pretty sure it's not just me, but it's either going to be regarded as false, true, or something that deserves to be looked at further. You know, it's hurtful, and sometimes it can be very funny.
Hey, yo, dog. Will this shirt make me look gay?
Nah, man.
What about now?
Nah.
Cool?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I knew her.
Really?
Yeah. She had a brother named Steve.
Yeah.
Long hair, pretty little mouth, perfect ass.
That was her.
Nah, I was talking about Steve.
You know, I'm a person who can laugh. I love comedy. I love a good mind-bending creation that kind of takes my thought pattern in my mind and just kind of twist it and fold it up.
All that screaming won't save you now. You're not making a baby, you're in a fucking fight!
But my whole thing is, I feel like we've just been kind of groomed and led into kind of seeing ourselves and seeing the world through a very specific lens.
Where you been, boy?
Up and out.
Take the bass out your voice, boy. I know where you been.
If you know where I've been, what you asking me for then, huh?
Without drinking and smoking reefers and getting girls pregnant. Thank God your mama ain't alive to see it.
Hey, Pop, what you lighting up, huh, man?
You're so smart you don't even go to school.
What the hell I got to go to school for, huh, Pop?
And certain people get marginalized so much more than others. And it still happens today, believe it or not. This just didn't happen back in 1920.
Butlers, waiters, porters. In the 1930s and 40s, Hollywood offered African American actors few roles beyond servile ones.
Was you asking for me?
Or the 1800s or 1980s. No, it's still happening today in 2024.
She told me, I walk up to her like, bitch, what's up? Throw the drink on it, bitch.
So recently there's been this big discussion. I know y'all probably heard of it. If not, I think that it's worth looking into. So there was an incident that happened recently. This happened last year in 2023. And it involved a young woman named Rhoda Osman. See, Rhoda is Somali. She's originally a Somali woman that lives here in America. So she is East African, and she is known to be someone who is very political, someone who speaks her mind, speaks up about issues.
Boy, if you don't...
It was a little bit hard for me to get out what I wanted to say for some reason. It's like something in my spirit just told me like to wait. I'll just show you. This is what I said. She's one of those young and lit characters that has a platform and uses their platform to speak out about different things. Now, as far as my research has gone, I still have more research to do. That is the disclaimer. The disclaimer is I still have research to do. I cannot say that enough. I do not have every single fact, but I have been following this situation since I noticed it occurred last year. So, boom, boom, boom. Basically, Rhoda Osman was out and
she claimed a man threw a brick at her because she wouldn't give him her phone number.
It was terrible. And I'm not gonna hold y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Rhoda seems like the kind of girl, okay, who will get all up in a guy's face, tell him about himself, tell him what, you know, just kind of a passionate debater, somebody who is not afraid to be loud and to stand up for herself, and to a point where it may come off a bit combative or like she is the possible aggressor.
Probably because you're a pale, ugly, stupid, uneducated woman. That's for sure. Oh, you're very...
Now, when I say aggressor, I do not mean somebody who is violent, hitting people, punching people, using weapons, but she is she's in that ballpark for sure. I definitely noticed her be pretty problematic, especially when questioned about the incident that she was involved in and the possible fact that she is a fraud and she has committed a possible fraud allegedly multiple times. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold y'all. She's a little bit, she's a little bit of a sharp-tongued one. You know what I'm saying? But here's my thing, right? I don't care how much a person mouths off, man or woman. I just am a person who is a firm believer that if we want to see some change happening in the world, in our communities, in our media, and we want to have free healthcare and great food and a great vibe overall that's safe and fun, okay, and productive, and our government, we deserve that. And so, of course, we should start by having these conversations and just using these examples to see how we would move as a society when these kind of things happen. So, boom, I'm the kind of person who believes that you could, obviously being aggressive, hitting someone, fighting someone is illegal. You will go to jail, okay? I know this from personal experience, but when and obviously sometimes the lines are blurred. That's not my point. My point is is that even if she is a person who's saying terrible things, popping off at the mouth, I feel like as a society here in America specifically, because I want to focus on us, y'all, is that men are becoming so disrespectful. So many men are losing their damn mind.
Of rage erupted in a Detroit courtroom as the woman heard her mother's killer justify murdering her mother.
We were supposed to be dating. We were still dating until this plumber guy came along. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Latrice Morris Dorsey was a 42-year-old mother of 3.
Men are going off and losing their shit, losing their cool, and allowing themselves to make up hypotheticals where they could beat.
Of a brutal beating on Miami's Metro Mover. The victim speaking out as we learn new information about where the suspect is right now. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa has the story.
Well, right now, the attacker in this case is only facing a charge for aggravated assault, which is a bondable offense. But that's likely changing now.
Emotionally, I am destroyed.
Andrea Puerta is clearly still recovering from the trauma after being brutally beaten by this man in downtown Miami's Metro Mover earlier this month. It left her with a broken rib, injuries to her back, and a concussion. But what's worse,
he never should have been released in the first place.
Her attacker, Joshua King, who's also accused of pouncing on 2 other passengers, got out of jail after being granted a $1,500 bond.
Murder charges against a mother and her 14-year-old son have been dropped.
Get your food! Who? Get in the car? Who? Nay. Get your food! Get your food! If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
The man later died from his injuries. A state attorney's office says they moved to dismiss the charges due to emerging evidence.
Or hit.
Get off of your phone right now. Get off of your. Get out of my face. Oh no, you wrong.
I told you get out of my face. I gave you a warning.
Are you about to face some serious repercussions, girl? What I'm about to do is teach you a lesson. I'm gonna teach you. No. Don't worry about it. She about to face the consequences of her actions right now. Whatever. So you're not gonna apologize?
No.
Or even unalive a woman or another person. But women, though, children. And don't get me wrong, it's not just the men, it's the women too. People are batshit nowadays, okay? Boom. Rhoda Osmond got hit by some male. She was upset that no male around had the cojones, the gall, the audacity, the bravery, the courage to speak up. And you don't have to fight back. Nobody said anybody had to fight or shoot or anything, but at least being able to say, hey man, that wasn't cool. Like, hey man, why are you hitting this girl? Like, show some type of, the bystander effect is getting worse and worse in our country, in the world, really. People will sit back and watch others be abused, assaulted, SA'd, unalive, on live, in the street, and they'll just keep walking. I get it. We want to mind our business. We want to keep our side of the street clean, make sure, but there's some cases where we should speak up.
As you said, tonight we are hearing from the victim of this violent attack, which happened on Friday afternoon here in downtown Long Beach. She tells us she is speaking out to warn other women and also to push for tougher laws to keep criminals behind bars.
I mean, I'm just lucky that it happened in daylight and not at night, because then I probably would have been.
You're about to see a sexual attack caught on camera. Rebecca Peterson is simply walking in downtown Long Beach, unaware that a man watching her jumps up from the sidewalk, unzips his pants, and starts following her. Then, within seconds, he pounces, pulling up her skirt, thrusting against her, and knocking her to the ground. Another man sitting nearby springs into action and appears to try to pepper spray the attacker, who walks, then runs away.
Once I was on the train and there was a man, what looked to be a black young man, and he seemed to be visibly upset. And what he was screaming and saying to himself was, okay, my girl just broke up with me. I'm pissed. Like, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. He's literally talking to everybody on the train like we know his ass. So he's telling everybody like, yeah, My girl just broke up with me. Don't talk to me. I'm fucking pissed. Da, 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 da. So he's picking fights with whoever is in his vicinity just because of this. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm glad I'm not nowhere near this man because he ain't finna come say nothing to me. Okay. But then there was this cute little Asian man who happens to be minding his business, child. And this man comes over and he's just like in this man's face, threatening to beat him up, to just hurt this poor little old man. Like, this man looked fragile. Like, if you hit him, you could literally just break him. So y'all, me being the person I am, I chose to speak up for this older man. He's an elderly man. No other man wanted to say anything. Everybody was just acting like they didn't even care, but this man was being so threatening, so violent. Now, I'm saying this to say the bystander effect is really, I believe it's really affecting us very negatively as a country, as a society. It's important for us to be extremely discerning to what we give our attention to what we regard as truth, worth expressing, worth debating. I don't even have the energy to bicker or to debate, because half these people are trolls. They aren't bringing anything valuable to the actual conversation. They're having the conversation to win and to triumph. A lot of these people are full of hate and aggression and absolutes. So Rhonda raised around $40,000 to recover from being assaulted. I don't care how big of a loudmouth someone is, how loud and wrong someone is, how annoying or obnoxious someone is. If they're not physically hitting you or harming you, you don't have the right to attack, especially with that amount of force. No matter what the gender, no matter what color you are, creed, or anything like that, it's not okay for anyone to do. You'd be surprised how many times it happens where you get literally assaulted. Like, people don't believe me half the stories that I tell them. People nowadays will attack, they'll go off, they'll throw things, and you don't have to be doing anything. You could just be standing there minding your lovely business. Once I was just riding the train to the beach minding my business, and this guy literally comes and sits in my seat, sits all over me, all my stuff. And when I tried to get him out of my seat, he refused. When I tried to get out of the seat, he poured his beer all over me. Check this out.
Yeah, so I'm on the train and I'm sitting here minding my business, and this guy gets on, sits next to me, sits on top of my bag, and I'm like, yeah, can you get off my stuff? He proceeds to grab my bag, and I'm like, bro, can you get out of the seat because you're being rude? He literally goes back and forth until he proceeds to throw his just pour his beer on me. I'm like, livid. He just poured his entire beer on me. There's beer in the seat, there's beer on me. Nice couple asked me how I was. I'm literally having a panic attack. May not be a big deal, but like to you, but you don't understand how it feels just to have somebody completely like just like cross every boundary.
It doesn't take much to trigger people nowadays. People be having their own issues, their own demons that they're fighting, anger, fear, all kinds of things. And not to mention like poverty and mental health being on the decline. Rhoda raised $40K, and people fought on the internet, oh, don't give her money, she's scamming, she's a fraud. Men and women alike all came to say she was a fraud, she's done this before. People are coming with their YouTube videos calling her a fraud and saying that she lied. I'm sorry, I just feel like we have to do better. And then they have this whole thing called accountability gang, when really it's just a group of red pillar, what they like to call pick-me women. And I'm not saying these aren't people that, you know, I respect these people's opinions, but where I find it to be harmful is where they're circulating false information and they're perpetuating stereotypes that are extremely damaging, not just for our communities, but for people of color who already have enough stacked up against them, male or female. So let's be for real. All the weirdos need to go. People who want to assault people and harm people and destroy people's property, let's be for real. Let's see. I believe that starting small with ourselves and our communities really is the most important thing. People get let off left and right. People who lie about being assaulted, they should be charged. But the people who are actually getting assaulted, they're not being charged at all. And people are hollering, oh, if people lie about being assaulted, they should be charged what people will be charged if they did the assaulting. But here's my thing. These people aren't being charged. The way y'all be arguing online, saying these very nasty things, making these wild assumptions like this world isn't as big as it is and everyone isn't as complex and situations aren't as intricate as they are. There isn't always precedent for different cases. How do we solve them? What are we going to do for the Johnny Depps and the Jonathan Majors? What are we going to do for the Rhoda Osmonds? That man whose girlfriend, wife, whatever, that black man who was murdered by his white wife or girlfriend?
Toby's entire family, his parents, his siblings, his cousins, his aunts, his uncles. I mean, this has just thrown a wrench into their entire lives.
OnlyFans model Courtney Clenny now faces a civil lawsuit from the parents of the boyfriend she's accused of killing. I'm Anjanette Levy, and thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. The parents of Christian Toby Abamseli have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Courtney Clenny, the owners of the condominium complex where they lived, and the security company that provided security there. You may recall Clenny was charged last year with second-degree murder for stabbing Abamseli to death in their Florida condo in April of 2022. She claims that she acted in self-defense.
What did she even get charged with? Did she even get charged? She put on the tears, and I'm not even sure she got charged. It just went away. And I will say again that if she was the provocateur, or an aggressor, she needs to be held accountable. She needs to be charged for fabricating her story.
This State of Texas versus Rhoda Osmond court document. And you'll see here defendant status, warrant, or citation issued. Now, what she has to respond to is actually a third-degree felony as listed right here.
On 124, the complaint was filed. Offense, $30,000 to $150,000, third-degree felony, zero bond amount. On the same day, they have a probable cause found. The warrant was then issued on the same day, and the court assigned her to appear on 1/1/2024 at 9 a.m.
Where she did not appear. Ms. Griffin, who again is a friend that was there with her, stated off the recording she did not believe the defendant Osmond was hit with a brick.
You think you with me, but I'm about to lay your to rest.
Wow.
See where I'm at? I'm at the cemetery. I'm about to lay you to rest.
Wow. What did he say?
I feel embarrassed to have ever taken her side, and I just want to publicly say that I apologize. I'm sorry, okay? I was so fired up. I was so passionate. I was ready to just record the video and edit it, but I'll just show you guys. This is what I said. But that man also needs to be charged for assaulting her.
Boy, if you don't...
I don't care if she's a loudmouth. I don't care if she's a provocateur. This world has billions of people. Everyone isn't going to fit in your little box. Speak in the tone you want them to speak. Move as quickly. Drive as quickly. Have the common sense.
Several days later.
I know. Pretty cringy, right? I know. Don't drag me too hard. We have to know as individuals how to control ourselves. I'm sick of sharing a state, a country, a planet with people who are so brain dead. Zombies. This is the zombie apocalypse. I am so glad that I took some time before I edited this video and I was able to get this information. And y'all, I'm pissed. This wretched, dusty, how could she? The fact that people like her would rather lie, slander someone, slander a whole race, your own race, because you're too lazy to earn the money in another way or just ask for it. Like, I don't know, y'all. This is really pissing me off. Like, because just as hard as I was going for her, now I feel like I need to go even harder on behalf of Black men and other people who just get lied on. Like, this is unacceptable highly. Now, I will say that I'm glad that she turned herself in, but baby girl, it's women like you that make it difficult for women like myself and people like myself in general who actually need help. Okay.
Her tears run deep after losing her 19-year-old daughter, Samaya Spain. This cell phone video obtained by Pix 11 News shows the moment Spain and her twin sister, Sanaya, were brutally attacked. That's Samaya apparently being stabbed in the chest and neck. But we are stopping the video right there.
Those were deadly points that he punctured in her body, that even if she fought it, I don't think she could have won the
After rejecting his advances, things escalated from there. At one point, the deli owner had to lock the doors to keep the man out. The twins thought the coast was clear.
Resources, a community to assist with the healing, the bounce back, the education. Girl, what the fuck? No, because I'm so annoyed. Like, people sitting here and discussing it even like this just isn't enough, but you got to start somewhere. You know, allowing your mental health to allow you to assault people, unalive people. We have literal shows and things that are for the youth, for the teenagers, where it's basically like romanticizing or glamorizing losing your shit.
It's better just accept a guy's flaws. Oh, that's so cute. I have an idea. There are bad people out there. Come on, Lisa. It'll feel good. That hand is gonna do terrible things.
Losing your shit. I know that it's just fun and games. The riverboat brawl. Excellent, great, historic event, right? But just normalizing, oh, somebody pissed you off, somebody disrespected you, somebody got loud with you, somebody was popping off at the mouth with you, so, oh, beat them, hit them. And it's a lot of the time, it's the men, y'all. It's the men. Like, I just saw a statistic, but men are more likely to get assaulted, essayed, and raped by other men. Like, the numbers was like crazy. We need to learn history so that we don't repeat it, y'all. Like, there's so many instances. Like, somebody compared Rhoda Osmond to the lady who lied about Emmett Till. That's what I mean. The fact that she turned herself in, the fact that she was found out, she was covered. You seen your video all over the place talking about you in graveyards doing magic on people. Like, ma'am, we was all rooting. Girl, we had your back.
Rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
Woo. You just don't do it. You don't do it. We have all these bullies in our society, in the media, in our neighborhoods.
So to answer the question I've been asked the most, have I pressed charges? Yes, I have pressed charges. Case number is right here, and I've been talking to the police since that incident has happened.
And the internet's going nuts digging into who they're dubbing Piano Girl.
I'm done with this. Like, we all should be done with this collectively, because it's gonna set us back so many years. All the progress that we've made as a race, and I'm not just talking about Black people, but just like a human race. Not to sound corny, but like for real. I don't think that it's helpful at all for us to glamorize, normalize, or desensitize ourselves any further to mental health issues that lead to violence, domestic abuse, random attacks on the subways, on the streets. In LA, we have a huge problem with it. Somebody just got poked at a train station that I frequent. I'm not gonna lie. I've been at a stage where I'm like refusing to pay for the train because of how unsafe and how unsanitary it is. You can literally get on the train and it will smell like feces. It will smell like urine because people will urinate and defecate on the train. People are smoking hard drugs on the train. Just like, how many times are we just gonna, Bob Marley, one of my dad's favorite songs by Bob Marley is Redemption Song. And he says in the song, how long shall they kill our prophets? How long should they unalive our prophets while we stand aside and look? Like, I'm gonna really need y'all to listen to that song, and I'm gonna really need y'all to look at the lyrics, and I'm gonna really need y'all to tap into history, tap into what's going on right now. Even the war in Gaza, like, even all these things that are occurring. How long are we just gonna stand aside and watch this happen? So even though Rhoda Osmond was complete cap, big cap, she had a point, Because even if someone was getting assaulted, why would you just stand there and look? Even though she was capped. So for women like myself, for people like the guy she lied on, you know, there's so many examples in the media. Just speak up, pull your phone out, let it be known that you're watching. Just say, hey, I'm watching this situation. I'm watching this young lady. You're not gonna touch this young lady. You know, you're not gonna touch that young man. Just like I stood up for the guy on the train. You're not about to touch this old man. And I got in between them. I don't care. I mean, I have men in my life who tell me, oh, you're being stupid, you're being reckless. Okay, I received that, but I read the situation, I read the room. Okay, I used my discernment. This man was emotional. He was upset because his girlfriend had broken up on him. Yes, he was feeling violent. There's cameras rolling. So if this man assaults me, he needs to get put, somebody has to, some type of catalyst. There's some type of martyr that's gonna have to, something is gonna have to happen to where we get these kind of people the help they need, get them off the street, not allowing this to be such a normal thing. How do we help it if everyone is suffering from the bystander effect? How are we going to improve on this if everyone is so shook and so scared to speak up or let it be known that they're at least watching, they're scoping the scene, they are an ally, they are a community member? How are we, like, God forbid there is ever some type of civil war or just like internal war. How are we going to move and function as a unit, as a community, if we don't have some type of common ground, common understanding? But you guys stay safe out there. Love your neighbor. Pick up trash. You know, look out for the younger, the weaker, the meeker, okay? The defenseless, the innocent. Fellow man, your fellow neighbor, your fellow brother, fellow sister. Men don't just have this boys club where it's like, oh, I'm riding for my homies and my homies only. We all need to look out for each other. As I mentioned, I filmed this weeks ago, and I am so glad that I've taken the time to finish this because, child, what has been carrying on the internet and in the world, okay? As I was saying, Texas does not play about their laws, okay? You know, obviously scamming is an issue. It's not a good look. It's not a good thing ever, especially when you're taking advantage of people who are trying to stand up for people who are trying to fight for a cause, and especially this like revolution that we're having as people. A lot of people are wondering how that revolution is gonna look, how it's gonna play out. Are we gonna have zombies? Are we gonna have aliens? This and that. You know, what's gonna happen with our world? What's gonna happen? Is it gonna be war and famine? Is it gonna be fire and ice? But one thing I just want to point out is that to me, in my personal experience and what I am just like observing, as I said, is that a lot of the issues that we've been facing on planet Earth is people just kind of snapping and flipping out on each other, and this just overall instability when it comes down to mental and emotional health, mental and emotional instability. People are snapping. What are we gonna do about this, y'all? Because this is crazy. I don't want to be in some dog-eat-dog world where I have to carry a pow-pow and a stab, you know, poke everywhere I go. Y'all, I feel like the zombies are the people who are not just on drugs, not just out of their mind, but people who really are having serious mental health issues and then are doing drugs on top of that. People who are just out in the world full of rage and who don't care about being an upstanding person or a cooperative, respectful neighbor. And I just think that we need to watch that just a little bit. If I'm being honest, no. But yeah, we need to watch that because, I mean, we got to share this space with each other. We have to share this planet with each other. And if all hell breaks loose, we seriously have to have each other's back. You might be thinking, what can I do? What can I do? It's not my problem. What did Michael say?
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life.
It starts with the man in the mirror. You look in the mirror and you see what you can do on a day-to-day basis. I'm not saying you have to be a fucking superhero, save the world, and pick up the slack. You know, yeah, maybe pick up the slack. But like, you don't have to be perfect, okay? You don't have to be a saint. You don't have to change your whole personality for the sake of the world, especially if you don't care about that kind of thing. But it would truly help if we just create some type of community feeling. Just get some fucking coop, some chill, Did y'all hear what Miami said? No, not young Miami. Nope, the whole city of Miami.
We need to talk.
This isn't working anymore.
And it's not us, it's you. We just want different things.
Our idea of a good time is relaxing on the beach.
Hitting up the spa. Or checking out a new restaurant.
You just want to get drunk in public and ignore laws.
Do you even remember what happened last March?
That was our breaking point, so we're breaking up with you.
And don't try to apologize and come crawling back. This isn't safe, so we're done.
And just so you know, we're serious.
This March, you can expect things like curfews, bag checks, and restricted beach access,
DUI checkpoints, $100 parking, and strong police enforcement for drug possession and violence.
Florida. Apparently, for the past few years, people have been going to Miami for spring break and acting a goddamn donkey. Acting a plum fool, showing their booty butt naked arse. And they literally are willing to lose money, not have nothing popping, okay, and miss out on a whole cash grab for the sake of the safety of their city. Y'all can't tell me it ain't something wrong here. Y'all can't tell me ain't no problem here. Y'all, what we gonna do? Cause this real ghetto. I know we say Earth is ghetto, but like this real ghetto. This is like real ghetto. And I'm sorry, but the kind of life I want to live, I want to be able to walk down the streets safely.
Yeah, big purse with the rhinestone buckle. Keep a pink stun gun just in case I'm in trouble.
You can't even do that during the day anymore without getting harassed, without getting threatened, without, real things happen out here. We live in a world where a victim is the enemy. For seeking safety, for seeking support, for seeking truth, for seeking justice. We are living in a world where criminals are getting off scot-free and innocent people are rotting away in jail, getting out when they're in their golden years. Like, this is some real shit. We really gotta work on this, y'all. This is like this is a ghetto mess. So that's all I have for you guys today on a commentary. Tell me what you guys think about this. Let me know what other topics you would love to hear from. And I love you guys. I will see you next time. Thank you. All of the information for contacting me and connecting with me is in the description box always. I will see you guys next time. Love you.
I'm tight.